Day by day, we all continue to bear witness to the subjugation of the entire world through despotic and repressive laws being arbitrarily enacted by a cabal of godless, fiendish despots, using the pandemic as an opportunity to strip the people of our God-given right to autonomy concerning the substances that we choose to allow or not allow to be injected into our own bodies. The mandates that are being implemented by these satanically inspired, oppressive regimes, led and directed by the United Nations World Health Organization and the CDC, is a result of their collusion, acting together in secret to bring about the one world government of Antichrist. Unfortunately, the persecution of those who refuse to be crowned with the venom of the serpent is only in its infancy. If there is any question about the United Nations' role in the formation of the one world government of Antichrist, all one has to do is look at the United Nations statue that was recently erected. The statue is supposedly a guardian for international peace and security, and it sits on the Visitors Plaza outside of UN headquarters. The guardian is a fusion of a jaguar and eagle and was donated by the government of Oaxaca, Mexico. It was created by artists Jacob and Maria Angeles. The fact that this so-called guardian represents peace and security points us to 1 Thessalonians 5:3, which declares, "For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." They claim that the guardian, a fusion of a jaguar and eagle, are animals that are representative of Mexico's pre-Hispanic and national history. Well, in Mayan mythology, the jaguar was an aspect of the sun god and the ruler of the underworld, and thus points to the devil or Satan. The eagle was a symbol of the sun and a representation of the god 𝘬𝘯𝘰𝘸𝘴, the Aztec god of war, who was served by fallen warriors. Thus, the image represents the king of the underworld, the fallen angel, the devil, and Satan. We were told that this image was the creation of Jacob and Maria Angeles. The name Jacob means the supplanter, the one who takes the place of another, and is a reference to the Antichrist or false Messiah. The name Maria means of the sea, a reference to the beast from the sea. Maria also means rebellious. The name Angeles means angels. Therefore, the names of the creators of this image actually means the supplanter, the one who takes the place of Christ, the Antichrist or false Messiah, is the beast from the sea, the rebellious, fallen angel. The image of the guardian is similar to the description given of one of the 4 great beasts, which are 4 kings that shall arise out of the earth, as found in Daniel chapter 7, verse 4, which declares, "The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made to stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it." The image is also similar to that of the beast in Revelation 13:1 and 2, which declares, And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. Through this image and the policies concerning the pandemic being dictated by the World Health Organization and the CDC, we are seeing world governments move in lockstep towards the one world government of Antichrist. Although we have already seen sweeping changes across the world, including travel bans and mandatory quarantines, the implementation of vaccine passports, tracking or contact tracing, restriction of access to those not crowned with the venom of the serpent from certain services, including healthcare, denial of gainful employment, restricted access to grocery stores, recreational activities, and a general ostracism from society as a whole. This is only the beginning of sorrows. In the first stage of their plan, they offered incentives to try to coax you to submit. They tried to purchase your blind obedience and compliance. Now that that has failed to accomplish their goals, the plan is to force compliance on all outliers. The beta test for this new heavy-handed approach is being conducted right now in Australia.
Australia is still a democracy, but its COVID restrictions are severe. It's hard to enter or leave the country unless you're a politician or a celebrity. Citizens are tracked with apps and soon by facial recognition. In some states, you have to have your phone scanned before entering a church. And some have been arrested for simply posting on social media about protests against COVID restrictions. The rest of the world is starting to ask if Australia can still be called a free country.
Australia, a country of 25 million, has only seen a little over 2,000 deaths due to the pandemic. Despite that fact, this country's leaders have implemented severe restrictions on its population, turning the country into a modern-day dystopia.
There have been several large and sometimes violent demonstrations against the lockdowns and against planned vaccine passports, and hundreds have been arrested. The government says the death toll would have been much worse without lockdowns, and is saying now that life can only return to normal when most of the country is vaccinated.
They describe giving back our freedoms as some sort of a treat, as some sort of a reward, something that can be given back to us and aren't our fundamental freedoms that were stolen from us in the first place.
Previously, we discussed Obama's speech on climate change, where he spoke about his dreams of dystopia for the world.
There are times where I am doubtful that humanity can get its act together before it's too late. And images of dystopia started creeping into my dreams.
One citizen described Australia as the world's largest prison. This is very interesting in light of the fact that Australia began as a prison colony, and since it's also called the land down under, this makes Australia a symbolic representation of the bottomless pit, the prison of hell down under. Remember, Australia, the US, and Canada formed an alliance called AUKUS.
We must now take our partnership to a new level. A partnership that seeks to engage, not to exclude, to contribute, not take, and to enable and empower, not to control or coerce. And so, friends, AUKUS is born.
I told you then that this alliance called AUKUS was symbolically meant to represent AUKUS, the god of the underworld, the devil, and Satan.